Hello again. We had our first rain last night, well, first reasonable amount of rain in about 2-3 weeks, and an absolute torrent this morning. They wouldn't know it now. The ground's all quite dry already, as you can probably see, and everything smells lovely. Everything smells very fresh, and it means I can have an afternoon dog walk instead of going out at 9 o'clock in the evening. So welcome to another stroll. Here's an interesting plant. It's not a dandelion. I don't know whether you can see, but it's actually pretty big. I mean, I'll give you a clue on my hand here. There, look. It's a pretty big thing. It's actually a thing called goat's beard, and the stems are really quite tough. Very hard to lift up. Yeah, it's an interesting plant. It's also known as meadow salsify, and it's actually a vegetable, or if you dig down and get the roots up, the tuber, you can cook the tuber exactly like you can with potatoes or sweet potatoes. I've actually seen Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall on the River Cottage programme growing it as a vegetable in his garden. So there you go. Now what the meadow version is like compared to other cultivars, I don't know, but interesting. It's also called Jack Go to Bed at Noon for some reason. A bit of an odd name, a bit specific, but there you go, meadow salsify or goat's beard. Now here's some interesting stuff. Can you see that white stuff there growing in amongst that thistle? Yeah, there's some more along here. Oh, there's some more in that thistle. See it? We call that cuckoo spit, but it's not because of some expectorant bird. What's inside that mass of frothy bubbles is a young frog hopper. It's a little insect, a sap-sucking insect that lives on plants, and it's protected in that sort of frothy, bubbly mess, like a nest, and it stays in there until it's ready to come out and start sucking plants. Lots of pineapple weed this year. Looking very healthy and smelling very pineapple-y. You might remember a few videos ago I showed you a patch of bare brown ground and said all the new ferns are coming up here. We now have a virtual Jurassic forest of them here now. Look at all this bracken. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's really deep, and of course it provides a lot of cover for birds, a lot of places for them to hide out. There's just loads of it. Loads and loads and loads of it. Of course, favourite place for ticks to hang out as well, so I've got to be a little bit careful. And I'll have to check the dog's legs when I get home. And my own, for that matter. The bramble flowers are going over now. And, of course, at the heart of each one of those bramble flowers, as you can see here, there's a little dark mass, which will turn into a blackberry. So it won't be too long before I shall be picking along here. And, of course, these are all the hawthorns. And these haws, these berries here, these will go bright red. They're all edible as well. Related to apples, kind of taste a bit like apple. But, you know, not so nice to eat on their own, but they're okay, certainly, as an ingredient. Will you shut up? As an ingredient in something like a jelly or a, you know, a hedgerow jelly. When I was younger, people used to eat the young leaves of hawthorn trees, and they used to call it bread and cheese. I think it's because they ate the leaves with the berries. Yeah. Curious. Don't taste like either. Oh, and they're very pretty. Look at this, look. Morning glory there, bindweed. But very pretty little flowers. Even though you don't want it in your garden because it just strangles everything else. Now then, here's an interesting bush. This is a Himalayan honeysuckle, as it's sometimes known, but also known as pheasantberry. And these curious flowers on it, which are very pretty, when they start to go over in the autumn or late summer, they form dark brown berries. If you wait until the berries are dark brown and so ripe they're almost too ripe to pick, they kind of burst in your fingers. They are delicious. They taste just like burnt caramel. And I have gathered in a few in the past and made things like fig rolls with them. They're really, really nice. So who knows, you might have a Himalayan honeysuckle growing in your garden and you're just not aware of it. I see here we've got some ordinary honeysuckle here, which is a very pretty flower, and Oh man, smells beautiful. Really smells beautiful. But it's probably escaped from someone's garden and it's tangling its way through all the local plants here. But I can't really moan because the bees love it. And God knows the insects need as much help as they can get at the moment. Some lovely dog roses here. White ones. Look at these flowers, aren't they? Magnificent. And again, attracting lots of insects, which is really good to see. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Well, I suppose it's a good time again to say good night from me. See you all in the next video. Bye.